Hi, it's Ulysses Carlson here. I love a good war movie, and a few years ago, director Sam Mendes gave us one of the best and most memorable war movies of recent years, which of course received plenty of Oscar nominations and buzz from critics and moviegoers alike. The movie I'm talking about is 1917, of course set during the titular year during World War I in Europe. I'm going to unbox this release and I will share my opinions. Nice cover art there of our young hero. Got a quote down here from Peter Travers of Rolling Stone, one of the best war films of all time. Underneath the slipcover, again, pretty much the same thing. Inside we have our 4K disc as well as a Blu-ray disc of the film. The Blu-ray obviously looks a little less fancy than the 4K disc, but that does look very nice. I'll read the description of the film as follows from the packaging. Sam Mendes, the Oscar-winning director of Skyfall, Spectre, and American Beauty, brings his singular vision to this World War I epic. At the height of the First World War, two young British soldiers, Schofield and Blake, are given a seemingly impossible mission. In a race against time, they must cross enemy territory and deliver a message that will stop a deadly attack on hundreds of soldiers, Blake's own brother among them. There are a lot of movies out there about World War II. There's a lot of movies about Vietnam. There's a lot of movies about the Gulf Wars and the conflict in Afghanistan. But there really aren't a whole lot of World War I movies, interestingly enough. I mean, if you think about it, there's a few that are quite good and quite well received. You know, Lawrence of Arabia, Paths of Glory, and All Quiet on the Western Front come to mind. And it was great to see one of the greatest directors working in Hollywood today try his hand at a World War I story. 1917 is a movie that absolutely lives up to the hype. It's one of the most beautifully shot, beautifully produced war epics ever made. And I'm happy to say this movie absolutely does not skimp when it comes to delivering on every front. One thing that I really appreciate about this movie is that it didn't go for big name stars for the most part, and I think that actually makes things a little less distracting and works to the film's benefit. I mean, the two young heroes who set off on this mission to deliver a dispatch that will prevent the deaths of many Allied soldiers is made all the more impactful because we do get two young actors who are very talented, but at the same time are not instantly recognizable name actors. I mean, we do see actors like Mark Strong and Benedict Cumberbatch pop up throughout the film, but they're used in supporting capacities, which I think really works to the movie's benefit overall. One of the truly unique things is that cinematographer Roger Deakins, of course best known for his work with the Coen brothers and some of Mendes' efforts as well, shoots the movie as if it's one continuous shot. It's almost somewhat reminiscent of the Alfred Hitchcock film Rope, although unlike Rope, this movie takes place across many diverse and large settings, and it makes the whole thing seem all the more epic. You might call that a gimmick, but it actually is done very well, and in my opinion works to the movie's benefit. I don't think there's ever been a movie set during World War I that really depicts the dirty living conditions of the battlefields, the trenches, underground paths, living areas and quarters than this movie does. I mean, when our young heroes get their dispatch, they have to walk all the way out of the trenches, and this takes several minutes. It's like a small town unto itself because the trenches are so massive. And throughout it, we see things like dead bodies, supplies, grief-stricken soldiers, and once they get out of the trenches, it's no better. I mean, we see everything from dead horses to downed biplanes. This movie it looks the part and conveys the horrors of war perhaps better than any movie of recent memory. There's even a sequence of the film set during the night, and this sequence, the only lights that we get in the sequence are from fire and flares, and it's one of the most gorgeous looking things I've ever seen on film. And despite the film showing the horrors of war, it also takes the time to show humanity, and it does find a few little instances of humor here, but not to the extent that they distract from the final film. 1917 is an absolutely fantastic war epic, and I am happy to say that the 4K disc of the film does not fail to please. This movie was shot in something of a muted color palette, perhaps to illustrate the coldness and the horror of war, and it is very well conveyed on this 4K disc. Fans of the movie, or of war movies in general, will be happy with what they see here. We do get plenty of featurettes on the discs as well, and that's a good thing because we get to delve more into the creation of the film, and of course everything that went into making it. It's a fantastic looking movie, it's a great movie unto itself, and the bonus features are the icing on the cake, so I do think fans will be happy with what they see here. If you are at all a fan of war movies, 1917 is absolutely a must-watch. I can't speak for absolute historical accuracy or anything like that, but if you want to be entertained and you love a good war story, it doesn't get any better than this. Were you a fan of 1917? Do you think this movie should have won Best Picture? Is it your favorite World War I movie? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.